Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Susan Malloy of Silver Lady Stamping. Well, today's kind of a rainy day here in Lynn, Massachusetts, about 15 miles north of Boston, I guess, something like that. It's been raining all day and it's about almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon right now. And it's going to be raining the rest of the day, but then it's going to stop and we're going to go back to some dry weather. But we really needed the rain. We haven't had any rain for, gosh, I think a few weeks now. So I know that the trees and the plants were pretty dry. So I'm not unhappy about having a rainy day once in a while. I hope you're having a great day and that the weather is good where you are. So I wanted to show you a card that I made using the Flowing Flowers stamp set by Stampin' Up. What I like about this stamp set is it is one of the distinctive stamp sets. And what that means is that when you ink up the stamps, the images, you will get a variation in coloring, as you can see on the card, without having to, double stamp it. You're going to get, by just inking up the image itself, you're going to get that variation in color. And so whenever I see the distinctive stamp sets in the catalog, those are the ones I'm drawn to because of the coloration. I just love it. It gives it a more vibrant look. So I really like this one, and I've been wanting to do a card with it, so I decided that I would. Finally, I did. So for the sentiment, now I will just say that I do like the sentiments I'll bring this one back. I like the sentiments in Stampin' Up stamp sets, and they do a very good job, and I like the fonts. Their designers always do a nice job with the fonts and the different sentiments, and they have to pick sentiments that they think are going to be across the board, basically that people will like, and they have to be kind of generic. The sentiments don't always hit the mark for me. I know that they're short and sweet, and that's fine, and for the most part, when you're just doing a generic card, that it's going to do the trick. But if you're looking for something that has a little bit more in-depth sentiment, that's not what these are. So I downloaded a sentiment online, and I printed it on the cardstock. And this is a quote by Maya Angelou, and you can probably read it, but I'll just read it anyway. It says, "My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness." What I loved about that sentiment, what really resonated with me is, look, all you have to do is turn on the TV or read the newspaper to hear about some story about someone doing something unkind to another person. I mean, it could be Russia's attack on the Ukraine, which is, that's on the world stage. But in your own backyard, you may have local stories about someone doing some unkind thing to a person. Road rage, whatever. I don't have to explain it. You've read them. They're disturbing. They're upsetting. I just don't understand the motivation of people who do that, to be honest. Whatever someone might be going through, frustration, loss of a job, difficult finances, problem in their marriage, to take out your issues on another human being does not make your situation better. And that person you're taking it out on may very well be going through their own issues. They may have lost a loved one. They may be struggling with their job or their finances or their housing, or not have enough to eat. I just don't understand it. I'm not trying to bring the whole thing down. All I'm saying is that if you're one of those people that like to do acts of kindness, even to either strangers or just to your own people around you, keep doing what you're doing. Please keep doing what you're doing, because you make a difference. And if you think you don't, you do. Because I was reading something on Facebook and it says, if you think you don't matter, think about the fact that someone is probably drinking coffee today from a mug that you gave them. Or they laughed a little bit because they're remembering a joke that you told them. Or they're feeling comforted because you told them how much you cared about them and that you were there for them. So you matter in so many small ways that add up to big ways. So keep doing your little acts of kindness, because we can't change the world on the big stage, but we can certainly make a difference to the people around us. So I want you to keep doing what you're doing. And that's why this quote by Maya Angelou really resonated with me. So I wanted to show you how to make this card. Now, again, all I did was typed it up on Microsoft Word and then printed it on my inkjet printer on some, Stampin' Up! Basic white cardstock, and then I trimmed around it. So let me just tell you what you're going to need to make this card, because it actually comes together pretty quickly, to tell you the truth. So we're going to start with some rich raspberry. Oh, my computer is, my iPad rather, is doing a little freeze frame. So if it does that occasionally, my apologies. I'm not sure why it does that. So the card base is going to be rich raspberry. Let me put this here so you can see it. You're going to then need, and so here's where I already printed out the sentiment. And then I also went ahead and, anyway, I'll show you in a minute. Getting ahead of myself. All right. So these should have been cut at 5 1/4 by 2, but I kind of messed up my cutting and it's a little bit shorter than that, but I'm going to work with that. But just for your purposes, just know that to fit on here like the way I did it over here, it should be to each piece should be 2 inches by 5 1/4. And on this, we're going to stamp the flowers on this side. We're going to obviously glue down the sentiment on the other side. So let's start just doing the stamping of the flowers. All right, so I mounted it on a block. We're going to use rich raspberry ink because we're going to keep the coloring the same. And I'm going to stamp it. Let me pull my sleeves up. I'm going to stamp it twice. I'm going to put one at the top and one at the bottom. Okay. You know, it's a little bit different than the coloration of my other one. What I did with this one is I actually, I don't know, I'll tell you what I did with it. So I actually blended some rich raspberry with some Highland heather, and then I stamped it, but that's okay. This one's going to be a little different. Okay. This one almost has the coloring of, hey, I didn't pick the right, oh no, it's the right one. I almost thought for a second that I picked like the Blackberry Bliss, because it does look a little dark, doesn't it? I know. All right, so I think what I'll do is I'll make it go the other way. Okay. I like my blue fingernails. I had them done yesterday. They're like, Oh, I told her to do it in blue, like robin's egg blue, since it is spring. Because I still had like the green nail polish from St. Patrick's Day. I said, all right, we gotta move on from St. Patrick's Day. All right, so there is that. I'll clean my stamp later. Then what I did for the sentiment label, they're in the stamp set there, and this is the one that I just used. Now there is a small one, and that's what I used for this. I just took the stamp and just kind of did it off the paper. So I did it like, you know, just on the corner. So that's up to you. That's optional. If you want to do that, you don't have to. Okay, so I think now what I'll do is I will just, you know what, I really like using the liquid glue, the multi-purpose liquid glue, the Tombow glue, but I'm going to try using the Stampin' Seal. You have to be kind of exact with the placement when you're using Stampin' Seal, because when it's down, it's down. Whereas with the liquid glue, when you put it down, you have a little bit of forgiveness. So let's see if, okay, I want to put this kind of at the corner. Okay. And then, yeah, because I need a space in the middle for the ribbon. Okay, so now I will, all right, oops. Okay. All right, now I'm going to do it kind of over in the other corner. Oh, after I tacked this down, there was something else I wanted to mention about this. Okay, so I had a thought when I was making this originally, the first one, that I wanted, and I to maybe do it with like a window sheet. And so I tried printing it out on a window sheet, and it did print out and it looked really pretty until I touched it. And then I realized the ink completely smeared on it. And then I set it aside thinking, well, maybe the ink has to just dry. So I left it there for like 15 minutes, and I went back and I touched it again, and the ink just smeared. So window sheets didn't really work so well. Then I thought, well, maybe what about vellum? Same thing happened with the vellum. And that has to do with the ink in my inkjet printer, not the Stampin' Up! Ink. Because I was, as you remember, I told you, I printed the sentiment out from my inkjet printer. So the ink in the printer doesn't dry on the, it doesn't absorb into the paper. If you use the Stampin' Up! Ink, it'll dry. And so you can stamp on the vellum and it's fine, but not on window sheets and not on the vellum, just so you know. So it just didn't work. And I was disappointed because after I printed it out, before I touched it and smeared it, it looked really good. And then I smeared it and I said, oh, not gonna work. I'm glad I touched it before I tacked it down. So now what I want to do is I'm using this, the ribbon, the lace ribbon. Come on. Here it is. This ribbon. I like this ribbon. It's pretty. You can get it at Michael's too. You know, if you didn't, whatever. I mean, I'm not trying to sell you on Michael's stuff, but I'm not sure this is being carried over to the new catalog when it comes out in May. But anyway, just so you know, you can get it now, and it's a really, really nice ribbon. So I'm going to cut off the top, just straight across. Just want to give it a straight cut. All right. Now, when you're tacking down ribbon, just so you know, liquid glue, forget it, ain't gonna stay down. And even the Stampin' Seal might work, but I'll tell you what does work, the Stampin' Seal Plus. Beautiful stuff. This is what I use for ribbon of any kind. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a strip right down the middle. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to lay my ribbon. Let me do it this way, if you don't mind. Okay. Ah, come on. It does stay down. I just pulled it. That was the problem. Okay. And there it goes. So now I can cut the bottom. All right. There we go. A little hard to see, but I think you can probably see it. It looks very pretty. Okay. Then optionally, you can put some gem dots on the bottom. And I used the, let's see, they're the Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And I'm going to just use the, I think it's the, well, anyway, it's red. Cherry Cobbler. I'm pretty sure that's the color on it, but we don't have, something like, now I could use gold, but I didn't really like the way the gold looked. I'll show you. So I have gold. I don't know. The gold looks okay. That could be a good one. Or I had, I liked it better with the Cherry Cobbler, so I'm going to stick with that. And put it down here. Done. So the front of the card is done. That's it. That's all it takes. Now, for the inside, and I'm not going to have you watch me do the inside. I'll just show you what I did for the inside. And I used a sentiment from the Celebrating You stamp set. And the one I chose was grateful to celebrate you every day. So for those people that you know who always show some kindness, we do celebrate them, and I celebrate all of you out there who do that. And I can't thank you enough for being the kind of person that this world needs. So grateful to celebrate you every day. And then what I did is I took the small flower image and decorated the bottom. So don't ever forget to decorate the inside of your card, because it carries over the whatever is going on the front. It carries it over to the inside. So that's today's card. Pretty simple, awfully pretty. And one other thing you can do, if you're so inclined, is you can use your Wink of Stella and put some glitter, if you will, not really glitter, but sparkle onto your flowers. And that kind of gives it a different look. But simple, straightforward, very meaningful message. And I want to thank you all for tuning in today and watching my video. And I will have more of this kind of video if you like it. I hope you do. Leave me a comment. I appreciate it. Just so I know if you're thinking along the same lines that I'm thinking about the world and the importance of kindness. So thank you again. I appreciate your watching. And until next time, thank you. Bye now.